But why not try to create a system where you could have a better opportunity to trace a gun that was used in a crime, even if it's not 100%? I mean, if you have, because you've used such incendiary language, the idea that there's going to be a federal registry, which does not exist today on legal gun owners, even though Dick's Sporting Goods and others participate in this.
We've been trying for 20 years, and the NRA is up on the Hill right now trying to get this existing system on retail dealers to work. But here's what they want to do. They want to take this current mess of a system and expand it now to 100 million law-abiding gun owners. Every time a hunter wants to sell a shotgun to another hunter in Kentucky, every time a farmer wants to sell a rifle to another farmer, they want to make them go somewhere. Where are they going to go down? To a Walmart? Is Walmart going to want to see them walk in the door? The local police station, are they going to want to do it? There's going to be a bureaucracy. There's going to be a diversion of police resources.
But isn't that preferable to a big loophole where you have all the 40% of sales, private sales, one-on-one, where you've got no ability to trace it?
Here's the loophole. Society, the HIPAA laws, the mental health laws, the medical records, the Latham lenses, the shooters in Aurora, the shooters in Newtown, they're unrecognizable. They're not going to be in the system. Who is going to be in the system? You and me. And our names are going to be in the system. There is going to be a list created. That list will be abused. Some newspaper will print it all. Somebody will hack it. There will be a registry. The Obama's own Justice Department says they want a registry on this thing.
But you've been negotiating with some on Capitol Hill, like Senator Manchin. Is there any kind of background check you'd be willing to support, or at least not oppose actively, that could allow this to pass?
We want to fix the existing system on retail sales because our people are the ones that are going through it and are getting delayed. It doesn't work. Nobody gets prosecuted. It's completely ineffective. And the NRA wants to do things that makes people safe, which is, and I've been talking about it, I know the media doesn't want to talk about it, is putting security in schools, armed security.
Wayne, you keep saying that. Every time you've been here, we've talked about it, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute. But I just want to nail down this point because I think it's significant. Are you prepared to support something that would have some kind of background check pass Congress?
We are working on a bill right now that will hopefully at least get the records of those adjudicated mentally incompetent and dangerous into the check system that applies on dealers. Most of the states still do not even do that. We need to see if we can get that done. We're looking to get better enforcement of the federal gun laws. We're working on laws to beef up the penalties on straw purchases and illegal trafficking, which we want prosecuted. Look, we're 5 million families. We're 80,000 law enforcement families. We're 11,000 law enforcement trainers. We want to make people safe. That's what the NRA does every day.
You've opposed the assault weapons ban. There will be a vote on this separate from the main bill. Nobody really thinks it's going to pass. But the vice president and the president are arguing that it should. Here is what Vice President Biden said this week. I'd like you to answer his challenge.
There's not one single thing being proposed, not one, that infringes upon anyone's Second Amendment constitutional right. This is not about anybody's constitutional right to own a weapon. Tell me how it violates anyone's constitutional right to be limited to a clip that holds 10 rounds instead of 30.
And here's why the whole thing doesn't work. It was lied into law 10 years ago. It didn't work. The studies show it didn't work. Anybody that knows anything about firearms knows that the AR-15, which uses a .223 cartridge, is the very low end of the power spectrum of rifle cartridges. Every round that deer hunters use is more powerful. .243, .270, .308. 25-06, 7mm. This whole thing about the fact they're machine guns, they're different, they make bigger holes, they've rapid fire. It's all a lie. Gun owners know that. They may be a victim of the lies, but they know the truth.
But it's interesting. You're saying that it wouldn't work. You're not disagreeing with him when he says it's not an abridgment of the Second Amendment right.
Oh, it is an abridgment of the Second. They're the most commonly owned firearms in America, and it is an absolute abridgment under the Heller case. I mean, let me give you the real sad thing, though. Let me hold up a mirror right now to the whole national news media and the White House. I just got the track data from Syracuse University on enforcement of the federal gun laws. Last time I was here, I brought it from 2011. It just came out from 2012. Do you know where Chicago ranks in terms of enforcement of the federal gun laws? Out of 90 jurisdictions in the country, they ranked 90th. Why doesn't NBC News start with shocking news on Chicago? Of all the jurisdictions in the country, Chicago's dead last on enforcement of federal gun laws. Why doesn't the National Press Corps, when they're sitting down there with Jay Carney and the president and the vice president, why don't they say, why is Chicago dead last in enforcement of the gun laws against gangs with guns, felons with guns, drug dealers with guns?
And you support those as felonies, being charged as felonies?
Absolutely, and we want them taken off the street. I mean, if you're the president and the vice president and the attorney general, and your job is to enforce these laws against I'm talking about drug dealers, gangs, and felons that are walking around with guns in the street, and you don't do it, you bear some responsibility. It's
you think
tragedy.
You can prevail? You think the NRA can prevail in New York? You heard Mayor Bloomberg saying you can bring suits, but it's certainly within the realm of New York State to pass the laws they did. It's constitutional to do so.
The laws they banned are some of the most commonly owned sporting firearms, target shooting firearms, self-defense firearms, and yes, they're protected under Heller, the guns they banned.